Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Friday, the 6th day of February 2026, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Remember to observe the rules of the road because the life you save may just be your own. I'm going to dispense with all of my other opening comments other than to say that this segment of For the Record, which would be the birthday shoutouts as well, brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your For the Record birthday shoutouts. You're encouraged to enter, and you can enter the Coca-Cola contest for your chance to win a VIP cinema viewing of the Patriots and the Seahawks. Pick up your Coca-Cola 8-pack today and enter to win. We have the Honorable Premier, Honorable André Ebanks, in the studio with us this morning. And if you have any questions or comments, we want you to send them to our WhatsApp number, 925-3261, to give you a sort of a lead in terms of the things that the Premier will be talking about. He will be speaking about the National Coalition for Caymanians outlook, also priorities. He will be talking about the cost of energy, cost of housing, financial services, preparations for the FATF, also talking about the beneficial ownership as well as future opportunities, the EU office, and immigration as well. So it is my pleasure to welcome into our studio, our brand new refurbished studio, the Honorable André Ebanks, Premier of the Cayman Islands. Premier, good morning, sir. Welcome back to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Good morning, Cayman, and good morning, Caymanians overseas. I've seen pictures from the Cabinet Secretary, but it does my heart well. One, to see you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you.
And to see this wonderful, wonderful studio. I've been pushing CapSec pretty hard. I said, look, let me have to go back to the house, and we still haven't made the refurbishments and the renovations. As my grandmother would say, now you look like people.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. So, so that we can alert our audience as to, what we will be doing, I did share with them the topics that you will be discussing this morning. The phone lines won't be open, so we're encouraging you to send in your WhatsApp messages or questions. Please make them as short as possible. We're going to be a little bit flexible as far as the Premier's time is concerned, so you will know after the 8 o'clock news, how much longer the Premier will be with us, because he does have other commitments as well.
But we'll see if we can negotiate with the next guest if I can stay a bit longer.
Certainly. Over to you, Premier.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure and a blessing to be living in the Cayman Islands.
It is.
Amen. You get out of bed, just give thanks. Other places around the world, you look and you see like, wow, we're still in a blessed country. Challenges, yes, things to overcome, but overall, a blessed country. To take a step back, administration started at pace. We had significant legislation. We had a coalition agreement. We had official travel. We then returned to the House for a major immigration reform, 15 years coming, long-standing changes, significant legislation passed in the House. Then all of the caucus members then had to then return to their constituencies, finally getting a chance to go out, meet and greet and talk to constituents during the Christmas period. So having done all that in a very packed year, I said, folks, you all won't be any good to the country if you don't take care of yourselves. So the first 2 weeks of January, no caucus, no cabinet, utilize the time to recoup, to recharge, to begin to plan what's ahead. And I'm sure even in that period, they still fielded tasks, they still fielded calls, but it was a time for them to get some rest. We're going to be serious about mental health in this country,
Yes.
physical health in the country. It has to apply to MPs as well. So coming back from that, we had a retreat. Since we now have a passed budget with the broad outcomes from the SPS previous tied to that, now actually what can we now get done for the year? What are the shorter, the medium, and the long-term goals? So we had a retreat, and it was a very interesting exercise because we did it sort of using an AI tool to feed in priorities and what you'd like to get done and make sure that it actually stacks up to what's actually in the budget. And when you would do that exercise, it was good to sort of delineate what you want to tackle firsthand and what could actually get done. The next step, because I met with the senior leadership team of the civil service, as you know, is then for each minister, having had the broad outcomes, specific outcomes, and the priorities for the year, ensure that the top ones are packed into each chief officer's performance agreement between the DG and that chief officer that the minister has sight of to say that these are the items that need to be done between 2026. So the civil service is now compiling that, distributing that to the chief officers. So I think you'll begin to see, and you already started to see, ministers now making appearances coming out. Minister Miles is there. Minister Jay has been out. Minister Kathy came out with a turn for health. Now I'm out. So now you're going to start to see us pick up the pace. One of the things that's on my mind, constantly on my mind, and the other members of caucus, and I'm sure the opposition, is the cost of living in Cayman. So I took some time over the holiday break to get to the data because you hear food, you hear this, you hear transport, but what does the data from ESO actually show? And as you can see, there's a pretty interesting bar graph. And if you're able to post it now that you have the technology here, but if you can't, don't worry about it.
I think we're definitely working on getting those graphics posted as well. This one now that you're talking about is the ESO
cost of
living graph. Yes,
from 2023. If we're able to post it, we're also checking to make sure that 2024 is available. They wouldn't have 2025 ready yet, but I doubt that there'll be a large disparity. Top of that, by a pretty long stretch on the bar graph, is housing and energy as the top driving cost. Everything else, as you see, sort of drops off a cliff and is smaller. Doesn't mean they aren't important, and you should try to work on them. But what is going to make the biggest impact? So having seen that and working collectively as a team, called Minister Anglin, who off-reg falls under, and said, "Sir, we got to tackle cost of living." He said, "Premier, yeah, we do." I said, "A big ball that will be in your court that you can really help. Education, you're already doing an amazing job. Big ministry. Finance, big ministry. Budget passed. But with off-reg being under you, let's dig into the issues. Let's find out what's happening between the regulator, CUC, and those in green energy, because clearly anybody paying attention to the news, there's tension there. There's letters before action. There's particular court actions. At the same time, our bills aren't going down. So what are we trying to achieve here? At the end of the day, I would want to believe that all of them, CUC included, would want this, because they pay too, want all of us to pay less for energy, particularly electricity. So if that is the overarching goal, how do we get there? Do they need a policy direction from the cabinet to say, this is the rules of the road and this is what we want you to regulate? Doesn't mean that us as cabinet ministers, as you know, get a hand in particular applications. That's the regulator's job. But is everybody on the same page with the outcome? And what are the barriers to that outcome that they need anything that we can clarify by way of policy, by way of legislation, to get onto the road of renewable energy? Because that is not just an environmental matter. It's an economic matter. The less that you pay for energy, the more that's in your pocket to go to Kirk's and Foster's.
Precisely, yeah.
And that is a top priority. Minister Anglin, to his credit, said, absolutely. We have to get on this, and he's going to be moving into that issue. Also, he's mentioned this in the House, Minister Anglin, and he's mentioned it on a few broadcasts, to establish now housing. And that's also the cost of housing, which is also going to fall with Minister J. So the cost of housing in terms of insurance is one big aspect of it, of the property insurance. So I'll come on to that in a second. And also the cost of healthcare, which Minister Anglin is going to try to tackle as well, setting up committees that'll be bipartisan through the House.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Which he spoke of before. So you got the cost of health insurance and property insurance, and then at the same time you just have housing in general. So the cabinet has approved a 10-year housing policy. That too was broken down in portions of short, medium, and long term. The first sort of signs of it now, to give a real data point, is gazetted on the website today, legislation that should go before the House that has its roots with the Law Reform Commission to put in place a pre-action protocol for foreclosures, gazetted right now as a Green Bill. There will now be, for the first time, a defined set of rules or procedures or processes for when a mortgage is in trouble, of what steps the banks need to take.
Mm-hmm.
A notice period for interest rate changes. I think it's in the bill for 30 days. And then also to ensure that the borrower understands the terms of the loan in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that
the fine print.
The fine print. The fine print. So now, as a homeowner, this should now provide you with education, clearer process, and protection. So that's one end of the spectrum. The other end of the spectrum is, what can we do to build more affordable housing, and do we need to go higher in certain places?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that housing policy, when Minister J is done with putting it in a way that's digestible and easier to follow, he's going to come out with it. You will find there's about 114 or so actions under it, and taking those and determining which ones will be done first, second, and third in phases. Because also we've taken a step back and said there's the element of ownership, but there's also the element of rental.
Mm-hmm.
Landlord and Tenant Act has not been updated in quite some time. When it came to the caucus and we did the research on it, we realized the rental market is far more complex since this was looked at. The population has grown. The country's gotten more sophisticated. When that was first contemplated, Airbnb, for example, wasn't around. So we can't just now throw out a bill and then expect landlord and tenants to be fixed. This is going to require significant consultation. So I think you will see in the weeks to come, the minister then have greater consultation on a white paper style first on the relationship between the landlord and tenant, because clearly there are examples all over the media, all over social media, where there are not the best stories of the relationship between landlord and tenants. The legislation, the rules of the road are hopelessly out of date. So for those sort of big ticket items, we are really trying to bite into them in 2026.
Okay, so we've spoken about the outlook, priorities, cost of energy. You just spoke about the cost of housing as well. Big ticket issue as well, financial services.
Oh, yes. We'll come on to that in a second, because I'm not quite finished with housing yet.
Okay.
I just took a breath for water. The other challenge, there's a couple of challenges. I've talked about it before. I think I've even said it on the floor of the House. As we're looking to have a better synergy and relationship in the energy space, there also needs to be a better synergy in the environment and in infrastructure space. So I read the blogs. I saw comments where Mr. Handel Whitaker has been appointed to the National Conservation Council. Mm-hmm. I've known him since I was a kid. His son Nico and I are friends. In my experience with him, gentleman, professional. This wasn't by accident. In that space, the stakeholders are also in court actions. Meanwhile, the country isn't really moving forward. There are difficulties in planning, and and difficulties in the environment of how they were going to work together. Mm-hmm. So let's try a different approach. Let's at least start by asking a CPA member to join NCC. And I've called Mr. Whitaker, I hope he won't mind me saying this on the radio, and say, sir, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to share learning. This isn't new. Both of the law firms I worked in, whether it was a banking team or a funds team or litigation team, you spent some time in the other team to understand how they work, because they don't always necessarily get along within the same practice, within different practice areas. So what can you impart to them to say, I hear where you all are coming from, but they're going to struggle with this because of X, Y, and Z reasons. But if you go through door B, you might be able to get to the same result that might be more palatable. Then when it comes over to that side of the fence, you have the opportunity to say, folks, I understand the concerns and how we would look at it, but I helped them shape this knowing what we would say about this, and see if we can bring about a better balance. Because the overall vision is for Minister of the Environment and Minister of Planning, and we're going to put some focus on this, have some facilitated discussion working groups to say, where do you each see the pain points in each of your legislation? And they are there. How do you now come together? Because I view them as hand in glove. They need each other. Nobody that I've seen walk around say they want to destroy the environment. Because it's an asset.
Yes.
It's an asset. It's one of our country's strongest assets. And also at the same time, when people come in for business and in our own homes, we like the infrastructure, because when you go to other places and the infrastructure isn't there, you miss home. So the two are hand in glove. They need each other. So the infighting isn't going to get us ahead as a country.
Precisely. Yeah.
So if the two ministers come and say, in that, two or three things I'm really not getting. In yours, two or three things I'm not getting. And they come together to bring that legislation. Have the boards now operationalize that, and that flow through to the departments. Then we start moving ahead as a country rather than ending up in the Privy Council.
Lockstep.
Rather than ending up in the Privy Council. And who wins? My fellow brethren, lawyers. Lawyers with bills. That's not going to get the country forward. As much as I love my old profession, what the country's looking for is lockstep collaboration is actually going to move the ball down the field for meaningful results. That's the vision there.
Great. That you have laid that out quite clearly, for us. And I must say, my comment at this point in time will be for those persons who thought that nothing, was happening, a whole lot of work was going on. And that is exemplified by what you have, told us so far this morning in terms of the amount of work that has been going on in the background.
But I think we should still put your hand up and say, you still need to communicate it. So it's in the foreground. So I would love to get here more often.
We'd love to have you more often.
There are only so many hours in the day. But I'm going to make a deliberate effort to try to come much more often to get this into the foreground, because I heard some comments about like JMC, because we're going to turn into financial services now in a minute. And I remember being at the JMC, getting up at least 3 or 4 times in the trip. You can go fact check me on this, doing voice notes so that it would be played here on a daily or every other day basis. So back home, I think they were played on Radio Cayman. You get a sense of what we were doing, because I knew when I came back from the trip, we'd run straight into the House. Tough issues were dealt with there. That was when the immigration legislation went through, and then straight into the holiday season. So I wanted to give real-time updates. But that also does not substitute for actually coming here. So yes, we need to come more.
Okay, we still have about 8 minutes. Ms. Susan, I'm coming to you.
Is she flagging us?
Yeah, we can continue on.
Okay.
We're going to make the hard stop at 8 o'clock.
Good. So then that leads now, that segues nicely into beneficial ownership. I'll come on to FATF in a minute.
Okay.
You've seen this issue for a while now. This is not new, right?
Far from.
You've seen this for a while now. Let's put it this way. There are waves of this. And every time there's a certain set of stakeholders and also MPs in the UK who advocate for a position of what I would call free public Google search registers to get an image in the public's mind. Our view has been, and this is before me as financial services minister, successive financial services ministers have said this. So this is an André Ebanks have said, we don't think that that's constitutionally permissible. And if you think that you don't want to take our word, we have eminent constitutional counsel who have said the same thing. And there isn't any point introducing something that's going to we just talked about legal challenges that the country's not really benefiting from overall. Then why would we introduce something that would be susceptible to challenge when we can see case law from the European Court of Justice to get nowhere? Doesn't make sense. And is not part of the international standard. What we have done is followed the growing trend in the body of casework. So to just maybe put it in a bite size, take your mind back a few years ago, what I just mentioned, the European Court of Justice, where there was a case where Luxembourg introduced a full-blown Google search public access register. It was struck down as unconstitutional because the European Convention on Human Rights is almost substantially similar to our Bill of Rights. So what our constitutional lawyers are saying, if that case were to happen here, more than likely the Grand Court is going to have to come to the same conclusion. But the judges in that case with Luxembourg said there's one avenue of legitimate interest. If a journalist was hot on the heels of a bad actor in criminality and needed those nuggets of information to make the case, that might outweigh, because the public interest of catching the bad actor would outweigh that bad actor's personal data. So that is the one area. So we could see that this was now going to be the area that was going to move forward as a standard. Let's adopt to it rather than be forced to it and have to come scrambling to go do it, end up on a list somewhere, and then have to do it anyhow. So the position hasn't changed at all, even at the JMC. When the minister responsible for the overseas territories, he came here last year, reiterated the position to him then, and reiterated the position to him at JMC. We need to now, because this is now new for us, legitimate interest coming in last year, we now make sure that we can operate it well. We can maintain it well. We put through changes in the House, I think that was the November meeting, but definitely towards the end of last year, where there was feedback from industry to say, this has been in for several months, but we can see where you need to make modifications, and we've made those. There'll be a few more around fees that I've talked about in terms of the search fees. Those search fees have to be completed by affirmative resolution in the House. So I'll be looking forward to take those forward to adjust the fee levels. They're going to be higher for searches because it costs money for us to operate the system.
And for the benefit of our listening and viewing audience, affirmative action,
affirmative resolution
in the House. Can you explain exactly what that is?
So it's different from a bill. It's brought by way of a motion, and Cabinet has already approved this. But there's another step in the primary legislation that says, but this is so important, all MPs should be involved in this to essentially approve it. So it's already drafted and approved and set by Cabinet, but it needs that final level of approval by the whole House. And that's what will be coming, to adjust the fee levels to make them a bit higher. Okay. What the UK was concerned about, whether we would make them exorbitantively high, so if somebody was going to do a search like, well, if it's $10,000, then there's no point, right? To frustrate the system. We're not doing that. But there is a cost to it. And quite rightly, it takes capital to put in the technology to make sure the protections. So they understand that. So we're going to have to make those adjustments. But my overall point to the UK minister is, this is now legitimate interest ahead of the FATF international standard. We now have to make sure that we're operating that to the benefit of our country and within our Constitution, and that is all for now. I now have to take the ministry to turn its gaze to the FATF, where that is the international exam. And there's a whole other body of work outside of beneficial ownership now that we have to be sure we're in line with, so we don't end up back on the gray list. So, Minister, I understand. I have parliamentarians in the House that will follow up with me for things. So I understand the position you're in. You're a parliamentarian too, and you're being followed up.
You're both politicians, so you know how it goes.
So you know how it goes. So I understand you're being chased. But at the same time, we can't go outside of our constitutional obligations, and we have to divert resources to now where I know that there are going to be gaps to be filled, because the FATF fifth round, the examination team lands in December 2027. So when I was saying that in 2024, it sounded far away. That's December next year. That's Christmas next year. So I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, sir. We have to now divert our resources to that effort, because you remember there were things on the gray list that we were there for in terms of being able to prosecute complex money laundering prosecutions. You also had to ensure that you can do asset recovery. So there's a whole other body of work outside of beneficial ownership that we have to be sure we're tip top to not end up back on that list.
So, how receptive was the Minister for Overseas Territories in terms of, the proposal that you put forward and what you had to do? And is that likely to satisfy Margaret Hodge?
Actually, I spoke to her at the last JMC. So, to answer your question, he understands. Is he being followed up for more? And would it be beneficial to him in his context to have more? I'm sure of that. But he at least understands that we have a rational, logical reason for where we are, which, as I said, it's worth repeating, which is ahead of the FATF standard. Now, it may come to, because I think there were plans, but there are, if you're watching UK politics, there is a bit of turbulence now. But there were plans when we left the JMC that they were going to plan an the UK government was going to plan an illicit finance conference for sometime in April or May.
Okay.
We might have to show up there because it's one thing, I suppose, for the minister to try to face his colleagues. It's another thing for us as OT premiers to come out, or financial services, and also the Crown dependencies to be there in the flesh to make the case, because he might only be able to take it so far and wouldn't have the depth of knowledge that you'd expect him to, that we would have about our own systems. So if that's still on, we might have to go there and I might have to go there with colleagues and other premiers and other financial services ministers to make the case, because at root of it, many of them are under the impression that we are something that we are not, and are not really seeing the value that we are a sophisticated global financial center with higher standards than some of the larger countries.
Precisely.
That's being missed, and we're being judged by some sort of old stereotype. So the premise, in my view, is flawed. We might have to make that trip. And that might not be the only one, but we might have to. Let's see how it goes.
Certainly. Premier, we're going to go to our 8 o'clock news, folks. The Voice, and I don't have to tell you, you know the Voice, the Honorable André Ebanks, Premier of the Cayman Islands. We're going to go to our 8 o'clock news. We're going to go outside and do some negotiation as well so that we can have the Premier continue with this conversation. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
The Voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. George Slaper is due to be sentenced today for a series of sexual offenses. He was found guilty by a jury in 2024 of rape, gross indecency, assault by penetration, and sexual communication offenses involving a 13-year-old victim. At an earlier hearing, his legal team argued that he should be allowed to serve any custodial sentence in the United Kingdom where they say appropriate mental health services are available. The court is expected to deliver its sentencing at 2 p.m. today. More bills are being published in the lead up to the next meeting of Parliament. On Wednesday, government gazetted the virtual asset service providers, the private funds, and the mutual funds amendment bills. This was followed on Thursday by 3 additional proposed pieces of legislation. The Traffic Amendment Invalidation Bill redefines the term pedal cycle. Under the current definition, it's described as a motorized bicycle propelled by means of pedals capable of being driven in excess of 15 miles per hour. The proposed amendment, if passed, removes the reference to speed. The bill also validates fees collected by the Director of Licensing for the provision of a single registration plate or a single trade plate in relation to motorcycles or trailers. Since no fee is currently prescribed, the bill will validate the fees that were charged in collection without statutory authority prior to the commencement of the amending legislation. The Litter Amendment Bill increases penalties for offenses under the law and empowers Cabinet to make regulations creating a, quote, administrative penalty system. This includes raising the fee for littering in public places from $500 to $5,000. Finally, the Registered Land Amendment Bill is designed to streamline provisions that impact charges of land and to provide for a, quote, more informed pre-lending and pre-action process. You can find all the bills online at gov.ky. MPs are expected to head to Parliament on March 4th. The Hartwell Theatre was packed with jazz fans as Cayman Arts Festival 2026 officially kicked off Thursday night. Jazz and Trance Big Band featured more than a dozen musicians who delivered an evening of classics like In the Mood, Take 5, and Autumn Leaves, even rounding out the night with an encore of Stevie Wonder's Superstitious. Cayman Arts Festival continues tomorrow night at 7 p.m. with the CAF Youth Camerata, alongside former students of a famous international music school, again at the Hartwell Theatre. Tickets are available at eventbrite.com. And the Family Resource Center heads to Cayman Brac for its monthly Parenting Point meetings. FRC's Sabrina Flores.
We're going to be coming every first Wednesday of the month in Cayman Brac. We'll be at the Old District Admin Building, and we start our classes at 6 o'clock. And we're actually allowing the community to decide what topics they want more information on, and we'll take that information and come and do some presentations to support those topics.
Audio there courtesy of CID-TV. For more information, visit frc.gov.ky. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Debbie Russ. One of Russia's top generals is in hospital after being shot multiple times by an unknown assailant in an apartment building in Moscow. The condition of Vladimir Alexeyev remains unknown. Russia's foreign minister has blamed Ukraine for the attack. More than 30 people have been killed in an explosion at a Shia mosque in the Pakistani capital, Islamabad. A device was detonated during Friday prayers, with the motive not yet known. US and Iranian officials have been holding indirect talks in Oman as Washington seeks to curb Tehran's nuclear and missile program. The negotiations are being conducted through the mediation of Omani diplomats. The United States has called for brand new arms control agreements, which include China, following the expiry of an existing treaty applying to Moscow and Washington. US officials say bilateral treaties are no longer appropriate. Canada and France are opening consulates in Greenland today. It's seen as a show of support for the island's autonomous government following President Trump's demands for US control. The French company Danone has extended its recall of contaminated baby formula. The toxin cerulide has been detected in ingredients from a supplier from China. Other manufacturers have been affected. BBC News.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
George Wellenward Bodden,
1924 to 1993.
George W. Bodden, son of Bluja and Toslin Bodden, was educated at the one-room schoolhouse in East End. In 1942, he joined the Military Defence Force of the Jamaica Home Guard, in which he became a non-commissioned officer. He married Aloda Rankin, with whom he had 2 children. He became a seaman in 1946, and from 1948 to 1967, he worked for national bulk carriers. When he retired from sea, his engineering experience earned him a supervisory position with a local construction company that erected Cayman's first steel building. During the construction of Owen Roberts Airfield, Mr. Bodden was a supervisor with the contractor years. He served East End as mailman, shoemaker, scoutmaster, and organist, and built the first upstairs movie theater. He was the first in East End to use electricity in his home and later owned the district's first satellite dish. He was the United Church's full-time organist. George W. Bodden was a trustee for the International College of the Cayman Islands from 1976 until his death.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Hey, new drivers. Don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Synopsis indicate a cold front will dominate the weather pattern across the islands, resulting in generally dry, cool air. Fresh to locally strong winds are expected with rough seas through most of today. A small craft alert is in effect. Small craft operators are asked to exercise caution. Satellite imagery show overcast layered clouds across the northwest Caribbean. Now the forecast for the Cayman Islands for today, calling for occasionally cloudy with a 20% chance of showers, and temperatures will rise near the mid-70s. Winds will be north to northwest at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Seas will be rough with wave heights of 6 to 8 feet. Swells are expected along the northern and western coast from this afternoon. A small craft alert is in effect. Tonight, we can expect partly cloudy with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures falling to the low 70s tonight. Winds will be north to northwest at 15 to 20 knots, and seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 4 to 6 feet. Swells also expected along the northern and western coast, and a small craft advisory will be in effect. High tide will be this afternoon at 10 minutes past 12, low tide this evening at 6:47. The sun will set this evening at 6:20 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:58. And the outlook is calling for the cold front to become stationary east of Jamaica by Saturday. Moderate to fresh northerly winds are expected to persist Saturday into Sunday with generally moderate seas. A small craft advisory will be in effect.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcade, where people come first.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Football fans, get ready! The biggest game of the year, Patriots versus the Seahawks. And Coca-Cola is giving you the chance to watch it like a true VIP. Purchase any Coca-Cola 8-pack at ShopRite, McRoss, and participating Rubis or Esso stations and enter to win an exclusive VIP cinema viewing experience. 15 lucky winners will enjoy the big game on the biggest screen in Cayman with Dolby surround sound, food and adult beverages included. Don't just watch the game, experience it. Grab your Coca-Cola 8-pack today and enter to win.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
This February, experience the rhythm, passion, and power of live performance at the Cayman Arts Festival, February 5th to the 14th at the Harkwell Theatre. From electrifying sounds of the Jazz Entrance Big Band to the inspiring brilliance of the Youth Camerata with international guest artists, the festival celebrates music across generations. Feel the energy as Cayman's Future Phobia teams up with the Netherlands' all-female rock band, The Royals. Be moved by the soulful artistry of Jade and Hannah and end the festival with the fiery intensity of Miguel Vargas Flamenco Dance Theatre. 5 unforgettable nights, 1 extraordinary festival, February 5th to the 14th. Tickets available now. Visit CaymanArtsFestival.com or call 922-5550.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Good morning. Let's check a look. Check in with traffic, see what's slowing, what's flowing. Coming from the east, the usual traffic flow, bumper to bumper. Expect some delays. Also, as you approach the Linford Pearson Highway. Coming off of Agnes Way and Bobby Thompson Way, steady traffic. As we turn our attention to the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz, traffic is moderate in both directions. And traffic flowing moderately, heading towards the Industrial Park area. And steady but flowing traffic on North Sound Road and coming off of the Esteli Tibbetts Highway. And as we look to Crew Road, slow moving traffic. It's like a crawlathon happening over there. So a lot of patience needed this morning as you head on down to Georgetown. Halton Avenue is flowing at a moderate pace. If you've seen accidents or incidents, let us know by calling us at 949-6990. And from the West Bay four-way stop is flowing at a moderate pace. That's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just the delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
On Angie, how does it feel to have broken the bull riding world record?
Sore, Sean. That bull was angry.
Angie, I think that bull is headed towards your red convertible.
I broke the world record and he broke my car. Oh well, at least I've got CG Comprehensive Motor to cover this.
Get covered for collision, damage, and more. CG Brit K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, Delano Hislop Pace, 5K and 10K Walk Run is back on April 12th. Whether you're trying to stay a bit fitter, looking to invest more time in your community, or just looking for a reason to get out in the sun, the Delano Hislop Walk Run is the perfect opportunity to keep your goals in check. Visit the Lions Club Facebook page for registration details. The 2026 Delano Hislop Pace Walk Run, Sunday, April 12th. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman, proudly serving the community for over 50 years.
This is For the Record.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. For those of you who are just joining us, it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning the Premier of the Cayman Islands, Honorable André Ebanks. Some good news as well. The Premier is able to be with us until about 8:50 this morning. He will be with us. We want to say thank you to the Deputy Governor as well for adjusting his schedule so that we can continue this discussion with the Premier. So
thank you, DG, for giving way.
Yes, thank you. So we have, for those just joining us, Premier's talk about the NCFC, the outlook, and the priorities, spoken about the cost of energy, cost of housing. We were on to financial services. We're going to be talking about FATF PrEP. He has also spoken about beneficial ownership legislation. He will be talking about future opportunities, talking about the EU office, and a hot topic in Cayman these days, immigration as well. So I have a few WhatsApp messages, Premier.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to sort of try to abbreviate them so that you get the gist of what the person is saying. So this person is saying that the cost of living can be brought down almost immediately in one full swoop if our elected representatives only have the will immediately eliminate the import duty on anything and everything related to fuel and the generation of electricity. They say that once we get the cost of electricity down, it will bring down every other component of cost of living. Businesses will pay less to operate because one of their major expenses came down.
It's electricity.
Yes. So I've abbreviated that one. And then there was another one in relation to, let me find that very quickly here.
Sure.
Person said they were curious about the oil companies, and they referred to the fact that, and I have no way of verifying this, that nowhere in the world can fuel companies make 200% on fuel, but the three fuel companies double their price to the retailers who add between 15% to 30% to cost and sell it to the public. So one has anything related to fuel, import duties removed totally, and some control over the three oil companies in the Cayman Islands.
Good questions.
Yeah.
So let's look at it in a wider context. The first one goes back to what I was talking about, the cost of electricity nearer to the beginning of the show. Because it's not just the household. What's in that question as a premise is that it would lower the cost for businesses. If we can lower the cost of electricity by setting the way through the energy stakeholders by policy direction, then the cost of living comes down for all of us. The cost saving should be passed on to the consumer because the markets do not have to pay as much for their electricity bills, so they have less cost to cover, so they should not have to increase the cost of goods. And then we should be paying less in our own households and then be able to buy more at markets. So point taken, and ties in and corresponds neatly with what I said earlier. The other component is the actual duty codes. So that body of work, and I'm not just saying that because that question came in, I think it was 2 caucuses ago within this term, I had referenced a letter that came in to me a letter that came in to me from the Chamber of Commerce president, talking about the cost environment. It was acknowledged that it has been talked about for some time now to actually go and examine, which goes to the root of what the writer is mentioning, examining our duty codes to see where there can be breaks that should be passed on to the consumer. So we've said because it's a tricky thing, right? You need revenue generation to pay for services and capital and projects. So you don't want our finance minister to get nervous because these are reasonable measures. But at the same time, can we look to see where there could be savings? So I'm looking at it from a commerce perspective with the Chamber of Commerce and getting a few known minds in the community to actually study this. And Minister Nick is looking at it from an importation perspective. He's already had his meeting with the Chamber of Commerce to start the body of work, which goes to the root of that message, to begin to look at the import duties and see where we can have breaks, where you can actually encourage a better standard, in my case, of eating, by lowering it where the products are healthier and increasing them where they're not as healthy. So that body of work, for me, I think to move this down the field, my kickoff with the chamber is Monday, and Minister Nick has already kicked his off. Thank you. So yes, and I believe to the end of that about the oil companies, if I'm not mistaken, last term there was a select committee on fuel, and this came up in caucus, and Minister Jay said yes. We had to go back to see where our body of work landed by the end of the term, but we can go back and find those takeaways to see what else can be done with fuel itself. But importation electricity, those are where I see that we can make the most gains quicker.
Okay. So before we went to our headline news, I think you were talking about beneficial ownership at that point in time?
Yes. So I might have beat that one to death. So maybe let's move on to other topics.
Sure.
The question came in about it. But
nothing.
In a nutshell, for anybody who missed it, our position hasn't changed, full stop. We're at legitimate interest. We're monitoring and making sure that register works for the Cayman Islands as a whole, industry and the regulators, and making sure that we can appropriately and adequately monitor that and operate it. So that's over. Financial services now, there are opportunities. So very quickly, you will see that there are bills published on the Gazette that I plan to take to Parliament for what is known as investment funds. The term in industry is called token funds. The simplest way to say it is these are our investment funds now that are registered with the Monetary Authority. But some of the investment managers have begun to use a new technology to keep the share register, the ownership register, on what they call blockchain technology. Blockchain technology is the same technology that is used to produce cryptocurrency. So, of course, our very astute regulators are like, wait a second, what is this? Because cryptocurrency may have its pros and may have its cons, but it has its risk. What we had to then verify as a government that although the underlying technology of blockchain is being used, it's still our investment funds. It is not cryptocurrency. So decouple the two and make sure that the legislation makes it clear that these are our investment funds. They're just using a different underlying technology to keep the share register, which is safer, more secure, and more efficient for them. To maybe give a visual to the audience, if this is our same product and we're Blockbuster for investment funds and other jurisdictions move to the next technology, same movies, and move to Netflix and we remain Blockbuster, then the business goes there.
Yep.
So we, as the leader of investment funds, have to take the turn of where the technology is going to be where the client is. So that legislation should now confirm the statutory framework for these, what they call token funds. But it just means it's a industry term. It just means it's our investment funds running on their ownership registers on a different electronic platform. So that's a good opportunity there. Now, in terms of financial services, this is where I can tie in the subject of immigration.
Okay.
I shouldn't leave your show without talking about immigration, because it ties into everything.
Everything.
So I'll looking at it through my lens of not just the post of Premier, but also looking at it from financial services. As you know, because you're no stranger to the subject of immigration, we have more jobs than people.
Yeah.
Right? It hasn't been serious reform for 15 years. Population huge over that amount of time. So the overall focus was we need to get our arms around a better tool for the management of the population, the pathways to citizenship, and to be able to recruit talent when needed, because we do need it. This was part of my contribution on the debate on the bill, is to say on the mic, this presents an opportunity. Yes, there will be challenges with change to move to it. And it doesn't mean that this piece of legislation is the end-all be-all. And there will be adjustments along the way. But the country had to take a turn. In the travels that I've done, whether it be Singapore last term, India in this term, those countries are unapologetic that they are either Indian first or Singaporean first, without a doubt. And Singapore is interesting because similar to us, well, actually, India was an OT as well. India was an OT. Singapore was an OT. But Singapore probably has more of a blend as a financial center as we do, where people have come in. So they're not, as Indian is more homogenous, even though within India that I learned there's like 28, 29 states and they speak different languages.
Yes.
But with Singapore, it's probably more diverse of who becomes Singaporean, which might be more similar to us than India. But still, it's Singaporean first. But when I was going over to Singapore last time, they found a way to be able to have a unifying identity of who is Singaporean and make sure that they're in the positions first. At the same time, what the opportunity that I see we have as we're moving in that direction is to say, and to give the minister credit, because he's been moving the ball down the field. It may not have been everybody's cup of tea, but he has been moving the ball down the field. He's given credit where credit is due, ideas that came from prior terms. He hasn't said that this is just about glorifying himself. He's given credit where, like I said, where it's due, but we do need to move the ball down the field. The opportunity that we shouldn't lose sight of is while we're in this period that the legislation hasn't commenced, and we're now about to provide consultation on the underlying operating regulations, is to revamp the whole space, to make it work. So take feedback, have the community lean in on the regulations, have the opposition lean in on the regulations, lean in on the fees. So to give you a couple of things that we've been talking about. One, can we identify sort of an accreditation system that I've heard the DG say? If you've got good corporate citizens, 75, 80% Caymanian, who get necessary labor when needed, can we put them in the express lane? Should anybody have a problem with that if the Caymanians in there going, I like where I work. This place is great. We obviously need outside talent. For those who are not so great, don't go into the express lane. We need to figure out how we motivate you that Caymanians can see their way to the top and work with you in a different way. But for those that we should be rewarding for their corporate culture, let's accelerate them, because the fees from what I'm hearing, at least from financial services sector, the fees are payable, but I need to know the system works when I put it in. And I might actually pay more, but I need to know that the system works.
Okay.
Do you need a break?
Yep. We're going to take a break there, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, with the Premier of the Cayman Islands, the Honorable André Ebanks, will continue after this short commercial break.
Craving something bold, juicy, and packed with flavor? Introducing KFC's new crispy barbecue sandwich served on a soft, buttery brioche bun. That's 100% KFC premium chicken breast, perfectly crispy, deliciously smoky with crispy onions, cheddar cheese, and barbecue sauce. Just the right amount of messy in the best way possible. Stacked with layers of bold KFC flavor, this sandwich is your new obsession. But hurry, it's only at KFC for a limited time. So what are you waiting for? Get yours today at any of the 3 KFC locations on island. KFC, finger licking good, just got bolder.
Babe, not tonight. You keep poking me and I need to be rested for meetings tomorrow.
What? I was almost asleep. That's the mattress spring I keep telling you about, not me. We really need to get a new mattress.
Tossing and turning, back hurting, can't sleep? It might be time to turn in your old mattress and go to bed with a new one. Browse the huge mattress showroom at Brand Source Home Gallery and pick the perfect mattress today. With mattresses to suit every budget, Brand Source Home Gallery stocks a wide selection of sizes and styles like pillow top and gel memory foam. So stop tossing and turning and sleep better tonight with a new mattress from Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
This Ash Wednesday, February 18, celebrate harvesting harmony at the 57th Annual Cayman Islands Agriculture Show from 7 a.m. until 6 p.m. Food, farming, culture, and community come together at the grounds in Lower Valley. Hosted by the Cayman Islands Agricultural Society and the Ministry of Agriculture. This one-day extravaganza is packed with Caymanian pride, family fun, and great prizes to be won. Don't miss it. Follow Cayman Agriculture on Facebook and Instagram for all of the details.
Sponsored by the Department of Agriculture, Pepsi, Quality Feed, Ale Thompson's, Terra Vegetation and Maintenance, and Radio Cayman.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Happy 50th anniversary, Radio Cayman. I remember as a kid listening to the children's program, the lady would ask, "Do you know what this sound is?" And as a kid, I would say out loud, "It's a trumpet." And in response, on Radio Cayman, the lady would say, "Of course, it's a trumpet." And I was so amazed that the radio could hear me. And this is one of the most favorite childhood memory that I have. Thank you for keeping us entertained, and we love you.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me the Honorable André Ebanks, Premier of the Cayman Islands. Is going to be with us until about 8:50. Premier, if I may indulge you, one listener, writer, who had sent something in earlier, they've asked me to read the last portion of what they had to say in relation to replace lost revenue. And the reason that I didn't see that, and I apologize to the writer, was because I didn't see that part. Read more.
Oh, you got to touch.
On WhatsApp, but you have to go down there.
Touch.
So I'll share this with you. The writer says, now the magic moment. It's so simple. Immediately introduce an annual property fee on all luxury properties valued over $2 million US. whether the property is developed or undeveloped. Undeveloped property will attract an extra annual levy for every year that it just sits there. Not sure how that will balance with development, though, because some people are saying slow down the development. So if you're saying to landowners, develop it or you pay, it's...
Yeah, that's a wider conversation.
Yeah,
and may not be needed in our current budget context. So I don't necessarily dismiss it because the idea has surfaced before. That's not the first... you and I have heard that. But it would, for a number of reasons, it would require wider examination, and we're not necessarily at that point yet for that type of measure yet. But where I wanted to pick back up is the opportunity that I see and the caucus sees around immigration. So talking about the accreditation system. So that's the beginning of someone now entering the system and having a Caymanian with pathways. If you need the labor, which is what Minister Anglin and Minister Miles are working on, is that pipeline, that human capital pipeline from education to work. Fine, you need a non-Caymanian today, you have a certain set of expertise, but we can see Johnny and Sally going to be graduating by 2030, and they should be eligible for that post or be trained up in that post. That's how the system should work. On the other end of the spectrum, when we get to the more permanent categories where someone can invest, I'd like to see coming out some serious consideration coming out of the consultation on the regs is, and many in caucus feel the same way, is whether or not the investment needs to be by way of real estate. Because to the last read more passage about real estate, won't that just more accelerate the investment of people who might bring great businesses here, who might be contributors to the country, but if that's their route to more of the more permanent categories, won't they just buy more real estate? When we're a small population where land is finite, how about they contribute to a social cause, a health cause, an education cause, something that also we'll have to make sure that we structure it right, that there's a fund that can be accounted for and regulated so it doesn't go haywire. But what I see is that there is, from a financial services perspective, there's much more talent coming here. There's more reinsurance. There's family offices. So if that is coming here, we need to figure out the bridges to make that work for the entire society rather than being on one side of the track. And they're willing to do it if we give them the legislative pathways. And that way people can then see, oh, that's why the minister went on the trip. Because that business came and my daughter got a job, or that business came and invested in Lifestyle School was helped to be built. I'm giving just hypothetical examples. Then the community begins to feel the success that the businesses feel, and we become a more harmonious society. That's the opportunity. That's the legislative opportunity, but there are also operational opportunities. So while we're in this gap that the legislation hasn't fully commenced, and it was one of the things I want to road test you because you've been in the belly of the beast, so-called, is now that the economy is so much more sophisticated, can we look at the Department of Work and put them into sub-teams that are designated to particular industries? Commerce, financial services, small and micro businesses, because tourism, where you may need a Caymanian and for what qualifications varies in those industries. And I'm pretty sure good businesses would lean in to help train those teams so you understood. Right now, I think it goes into work in it's more of a unified fashion. But if the accounting firms, the law firms have sub-teams that you work on banking, you work on funds, you work on litigation, you work on insolvency, why not we now reimagine and revamp the department to study these industries? So when it goes in, the administrators now can spot, no, I had the training. There's no reason why Johnny, who's graduating from University of Bristol, can't get that job. But there might be other times where the business might say, good point, but maybe just not yet. Let's have the teams really sort of study those work, and they can have cross-training. I think that there is a massive opportunity to enhance the system.
That's an excellent idea, Premier. And I would just add to that, without taking any tales out of school, and I must say that I'm a member of the business staff and plan, actually the deputy chair of the business staff.
Don't I know it?
And when we learn so much when we have face-to-face meetings with the various entities, we learn more about some of the obstacles that they're facing in terms of hiring. For instance, you may see in a particular industry more of a concentration of nationals from one jurisdiction, not realizing that the jurisdiction of choice for those companies, they have certain restrictions because they have sister entities in those jurisdictions, and they may be poaching from them. So they have those agreements that, listen, if you want someone in this particular field, we don't recruit from here because we need them here as well.
Yes.
So learning exactly, what those nuances are makes it so much easier for you when you're dealing with those applications. So certainly not just sensitizing, but getting those administrators at work to know the businesses that they're going to be dealing with, as well as the boards, as well as
it has to flow. It has to flow from ministerial level, cabinet, parliament, cabinet, ministerial level, board level, department level.
Yes.
Another small example. That business in your example that's global might say, you know what, it's very difficult. The office down there is a star performer. They're 80% Caymanians. I can't get anywhere. I'll just park the post, not the human being, the post, wherever, Canada or wherever. Just making up countries, right? Because they have offices everywhere.
Yeah.
That means the whole post is gone. So even if there was Sally or Johnny who might have graduated and be able to now aspire to that, the whole post is gone.
Yeah.
So the country is lost. You lost the opportunity for the Caymanian to get the post. You lost the economics around the post, people coming around, buying things in shops. That's all gone. We have to make it that it's efficient for business while still saying unapologetically, this is a Caymanian first country. There's a way to do both.
Yeah. And going back to what you said about those having this merit system for there are many companies in the Cayman Islands where the majority of their staff is Caymanian.
Yes.
A lot. And they need to be recognized, we recognize for it, but not only recognize, but we should give them some sort of incentive because of what they do. And when those other companies see that is happening, that will bring them in line and say, listen, you know something? We better get on board.
So I look across now, and they're getting their permits in a week because they're a good citizen. I need to get my stats up so it doesn't taking me whatever amount of time. But let's not forget the other side of the spectrum, because the Ministry is Financial Services and Commerce, where there's micro and small businesses, where there'll be a micro or small business say, I've tried, I cannot find a Caymanian. And my business is holding on by a thread because I need this worker. How do we now look at that space and say, yes, if it's a domestic that does heavy care, it'd be difficult to find a Caymanian that might be in that space, and at the same time, it could be one of our parents that are at a care home, and they can't struggle without having that kind of talent. So we need to recognize, which is again credit to two ministers, Anglin and Miles, to say, where are our Caymanians? Where are they studying? Where are their jobs and their opportunities? Where are they going to have the more economic success? And where are there other jobs where we need necessary labor to do things, who are owned by Caymanian businesses who need help? Massive opportunity for us to get this right and not rush it.
Yep. And you have about 4 minutes where we're going to have to let you go because you have to go Premier. But if I may quickly as well, on the business staffing plans,
yes,
there are requirements, for instance, for companies to offer scholarships.
Yes.
Many of those companies offer scholarships beyond what is required by the business staffing plan. Where we need the coordination now is with the scholarships and the apprenticeships. That those are the things that need to be coordinated with other entities within government rather than the entity themselves just saying, well, we're going to offer this apprenticeship and it's out there. It all needs to be tied in together, and that's where you'll see more and more results.
More and more, yes.
Yes.
But if we're okay in the studio, to be transparent, the next stop is Sir Johnny Cumber, West Bay Primary Sports Day, where I'm due to speak with Minister Anglin. So I figure I would probably feature around 9:15, and Norman won't speed. So if I leave here 5 or 9, we should make it to West Bay by 9:15. So let's say we got another 8 or 9 minutes, so we don't feel so rushed.
Miss Susan, do I need to come to you, or can we go right on for the 8 or 9 minutes and then do all the? We can go on.
She gave us the all clear. Okay, got the all clear from air traffic control.
Yes.
Okay, so that's immigration. That's the opportunity that I see at a macro level. Yeah. Yes, there'll be provisions to discuss in the weeds. Massive opportunity to get this right for our people and for the country as a whole. What was the next thing on your list that we could touch on?
You mean from our listeners or from
because you read out initially for the listeners at the top of the show a range of topics.
Okay.
I want to see if we can knock any others out.
Well, we have one here. This one is about health. Can you please ask the Premier what his thoughts are for a national health and property insurance pool run by government with proper professionals and with a connection to networks abroad? It must be profitable for all these private insurers to be in business, but so much of their premiums are going to shareholders outside of the country. Why not have the government be able to keep all of these funds?
Good question. So if I could give an even wider context, because it's been in the news, there's no reason why we shouldn't cover it in a few minutes. The topic of HSA and Minister Cathy's work. So clearly there are challenges there. And there's a new board. What I would say is, if there are any learnings from prior boards, let's at least assume positive intent. There are good people there trying to do the best that they can with HSA. There's an audit that's been engaged. It'll have lessons learned. Let's not completely go back and can't change the past. All you can do is learn from it. Good people there did the best that they can. There are challenges. We'll learn from them. Takeaways. No need to dwell on it. Let's look forward to the future of what the minister is doing. There's a new board there now, and I think the overall focus for HSA is to really hone in on their primary care. There are a lot of other facilities in the country now to expedite work on the pathways for referrals where appropriate. I don't think it could be solely just primary care. There may be other things that the HSA will have to do. But let's really sort of narrow the focus, not make sure they're spread too thin, stabilize the situation. Where can there be expedited referrals to other good specialists that are on the island to really sort of expedite the services that you get there and the capacity. So that's the overall vision. And the minister shares that vision, the caucus shares that vision, and that's where I see that direction of travel. Now, when it comes to insurance, the larger question is, which gets to the root of that writer, is, have we come to a point where we need a larger pool rather than it being piecemeal and it's expensive for businesses which just get passed on? Do we now have to look at a situation where it now needs to become universal and need the government purchasing power to say, I was going to use the TCCP slogan, enough is enough, but enough is enough of the piecemeal approach. Minister Anglin is now going to look at the cost of healthcare with a committee under the Constitution of Section 54, where the minister can set out a committee to look at examine that exact issue. But it's clear that the country now has to take a turn because it is getting too expensive, and we're not utilizing the power of government's bargaining power to get better deals for our people.
Two more topics, if we may. This person wanted to know about public beach access. I believe it was a topic that Minister Jay, when he was in here, spoke about as well. And the other one, Ms. Susan, was, can you give me a gist of that again? Oh, an update on support staff for the opposition. Whether or not that is something that has to be done in Parliament, or whether or not it's an
already in train
decision. Okay,
it's already in train. So the quick update there is that the budget is there for it. That was approved. It's just the drafting of the what was agreed to be actually in legislation and bringing as a motion. So I'll be checking on that to see if we get that done as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And beach access, as Minister Jay is all over that. There's a few things, but it's also tied to a larger subject of beach renourishment. So there's been a bit more sand because of the weather in certain areas, but we're working on a plan for overall beach renourishment that, fingers crossed, from what we've heard, a recent proposal. Can't say much about it now because I don't know if it's going to come to fruition. I'm not keeping it quiet just for secrecy. I don't know whether it's going to come to fruition, but we were very excited as a caucus of a recent proposal to extend the beach, because even if you increase the pathways, the beach is shorter. Got to increase it, so the two are tied. What Minister Jay is working on is improving beach accesses. I've said to him, and I think I've said this publicly, do we still need these small, can't really see them, brown signs? This should be proud.
Yes,
this is a national asset. Should this be a big, bright sign? So he's going to be working on some where they're expanded, have a greater pathway, better lighting to get to the beach. This is a massive national asset. And I feel sometimes, it must have happened to you. You drive by, oh, that was the access. You completely miss it.
Yep.
Or you walk down it and it's somehow there's some sort of impediment. We have to get back to that.
Okay. Premier, I want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments as well.
Okay. Closing comments. One, plan to thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, the DG, for giving way, and thank you for keeping me on track for Westbury Primary Sports Day. And good to see you again, and let's do this again soon.
Okay.
Remember, the notice has been issued, so Parliament should resume on the Wednesday, the 4th of March, 2:00. You know, D. Ezra Miller, the speaker, is going to come through that door at 2:00 sharp, so we have to be on time. There are a number of bills the public can see on the website. I talked about the investment funds enhancement for what they call the blockchain or token funds. You'll have the Registered Land Amendment Act that I mentioned, which was talking about foreclosure and mortgage reform. Minister Cathy is a litter amendment bill to increase and stiffen the fines of litter and to help to start to address with derelict cars. I think a number of us have spoken about this, including the opposition from prior terms. That now bill is published. We are proud to live unapologetically in a clean country. Some of the litter that you see is unacceptable, unexplainable. Why wouldn't you just take that to the trash can? Exactly. Why would you throw that down there now when you know there's a trash can 20 yards away? We have to now stiffen that. I don't even know that I should apologize for it because it just doesn't make sense. Derelict cars just being left on the road. When people come from other countries and we have visitors, they marvel at how clean it is. And we as Caymanians know it used to be cleaner. So yes, I like the comment that we're cleaner than other places, but I know that we could be better. The caucus knows that we could be better. So we have to stiffen that. So you're going to start to now see that this is the opening in March, hope to return in April, then in June. Under the standing orders, there's a break for July and August, return in September, and try to return in November. Because we're now going to start to ramp up, put into gear our legislative efforts to make a stronger, fairer Cayman.
Okay, one of the things, Premier, very quickly, if I may, the EU office. Didn't mention that, if you could.
The nutshell there was me sort of thinking about, so we have Singapore, which is Asia. I should call them because they're by regions. They're in the city, but the rep is to travel the region. But the office is physically, Jean DaCosta, who's here now, is in Singapore. So travels the region in Asia. EU is run out of the London office by Julie Campbell because the EU or businesses primarily that are known to us are in London. They're not in Brussels. But at the same time, you have to go to Brussels for regulatory and policy updates. But what I mentioned there and bringing that up is to try to expand further afield rather than just the 2-hour London to Brussels train ride. There are other businesses. So my mind was open last term when I traveled with Joelle Walton and Macy and we went to Athens, where there's a major shipping synergy, where you will see Cayman flags, a culture that's kind of similar to us in Greece, a deep seafaring heritage.
Yep.
I'm not saying the regulatory and policy isn't important, don't get me wrong, But are there other synergies? Are we really maximizing our relationships to grow other business lines? Should you now maybe venture more into Ireland, where they have a funds industry? Some of the mutual fund administrators who are here have offices in Dublin. So as we have now evolved to become global, what I'm pushing for in that example is to think globally. Think globally. Yep. So the person, there's no person in the post yet to rehire for the U.S., but when that happens, think of all of the Americas. Think of Canada. There have been a number of investors who've come to say, the ministry spends a lot of time in New York, but Toronto, there are opportunities for Cayman to expand its business. So the whole point of plugging that was to think, wanting the representatives to think beyond the borders of where they may be, the usual train rides and flights where there are other opportunities.
Well, Premier, thank you very much. Hope and trust that you make it to
West Bay,
Cumber
back to
Primary
West
School.
Bay.
We look forward to having you here with us, more as well, and hope you enjoyed the new setting that we have in here.
I said it at the top of the hour. It's worth repeating. It does my heart well to see that we put the budget behind it, and it hasn't gone to waste. And the studio looks great. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you.
Let's stay on the road to creating a stronger and fairer Cayman. With the help of God and collaboration, we'll get there. God bless you, sir, and God bless the Cayman Islands.
Thank you. Same to you, Premier. Folks, top of the hour headline news. When we return, the phone lines will be open. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back after the news.
Hey, new drivers. Don't just drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning.
Ouch!
When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Information, entertainment, inspiration.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Since 1976 till now.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
On Thursday, government gazetted the Traffic Amendment and Validation Bill, which redefines the term pedal cycle. Under the current definition, the pedal cycle is described as a, quote, motorized bicycle or cycle propelled by means of pedals capable of being driven in excess of 15 miles per hour. The amendment bill removes the reference to speed. You can find the full bill online at gov.ky. Parliament is expected to resume on March 4th. In international news, senior U.S. and Iranian officials are in Oman for talks amid a crisis that has raised fears a military confrontation could happen between the two countries. The discussions come after U.S. military buildup in the Middle East in response to Iran's violent repercussions of nationwide anti-government protests last month that human rights groups say killed many thousands of people. But the scope of the talks, which are believed to be indirect, remain unclear, with both countries far apart in their positions amid mutual mistrust. The hope was that if successful, the discussions could lead to a framework for negotiations. And a high-profile general in Russia's military has been shot several times and wounded in the capital. The general was immediately taken to hospital after the attack in a residential block of apartments on the northwestern outskirts of Moscow, and his condition is unknown. He is number 2 in the main directorate of Russia's GRU military intelligence and the latest high-ranking military figure to have been targeted in the capital since the full-scale invasion of Ukraine began almost 4 years ago. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
At
HSA, we strive to provide the highest standard of care with compassion, integrity, and dedication. And so we say thank you, Cayman, for continuing to make us the most awarded organization on island by voting us the best of Cayman Islands in 9 medical categories. Your support reminds us why we do what we do, to serve the Cayman community with kindness and excellence. To find out more about our award-winning services, visit hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. The phone lines are open now, and some of you will say, oh, now you open the phone lines after the Premier has left. Well, there are times when we're able to open up the phone lines when we have guests in the studio, and there are times when, because of the nature of the discussion and the message that is that they're attempting to get across, prevents us from opening up the phone lines as well, and this was one of those. You heard me read off all of the topics that the Premier wanted to mention, and of course there was limited time. Fortunately, the DG, who everything had been planned for him, he gave up his time so that the Premier could continue the discussion. Started off with the outlook of the NCFC, the party that is now governing the Cayman Islands, the coalition government, NCFC. The priorities, spoke about the cost of energy, cost of housing, financial services, Financial Action Task Force preparation, the issue of beneficial ownership, the future opportunities, immigration, and then we spoke about the EU office as well. So we now go back to the birthday shout-outs, if we have any. From Coca-Cola, I think, Miss Susan, you would have sent that. We have a WhatsApp column, might be coming in as well, Miss Susan. So the birthday shout-outs, did we have those? None so far. Also, what I could share with you, the DG, of course, was going to be here with us this morning, and I can tell you exactly what he was going to be talking about and who would be accompanying him this morning. So the DG, as well as the Wellness Committee Officer, Ms. Charmaine Dalhouse Morgan, they were going to be in with us to share more about the return of the CIG pedometer, the pedometer step challenge, and upcoming Wellness Committee initiatives. It would have also been, and it will be when he comes in, an opportunity to promote the DG 5K run walk as well, the DG 5K event. That would have been possible as well. So, some comments, and while the Premier may not be here, if you call in and if you have comments that you wanted to share earlier, you can still do so because the staff, they're always listening in and taking comments, taking suggestions, and conveying them on to the relevant ministers as well. I want to find some of the comments that are, yep. Oh, we do have the birthday stuff that Miss Susan sent to, as well. So today, Friday, the 6th of February, Miss Sarasu McField celebrating her birthday. Sarasu McField celebrating her birthday. Also, Drake Watson celebrating a birthday. Miss Donna Bush celebrating her birthday today as well. Mr. Willie Tatum celebrating his birthday today. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Willie Tatum. MP Chris Saunders also celebrating his birthday today. I see where one of my cyclist friends and family friend and everything sent a belated birthday greetings to me as well, and I want to thank them. I extremely grateful to all of those persons who did send birthday greetings, but I'm a low-key person, and some of you may think low-keyed, and you're on the radio at least three times a week. Yeah, but other than that, I really don't like to make a big fuss about myself. I appreciate being alive and being able to talk with you, to share with you, to listen to you as well. Let's look at birthdays for tomorrow, the 7th of February. Gabe Powell Sr. celebrating his birthday. Lillian Taylor celebrating a birthday. Mr. Lara Scott celebrating a birthday. George Victory. Javon Elvire celebrating a birthday. Kevin Marshall. Ellen Solomon on the 8th. Araceli Colina on the 8th as well. Mark Strobel, some of those, I don't know if they reside in Cayman, Miss Susan. Names are funny, but we'll give them a big shout out anyway. And to remind you that for the record, birthday shout outs normally brought to you between 7:30 and 7:45, brought to you by Coca-Cola, who were proud to support your for the record birthday shout outs. You can enter the Coca-Cola contest for your chance to win a VIP cinema viewing of the Patriots and the Seahawks. Pick up your Coca-Cola 8-pack today and enter to win. Do we have any callers on hold, Miss Susan? What's up caller? And then we have 2 landline callers as well. What's up caller? Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. How have you been?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Fine, thanks. It's good to see you in your nice studio. Very, very nice.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
It is really nice here. Yes.
Just two short points, OC.
Okay.
First of all, there is something that is happening in the Court of Appeal which is probably unprecedented. I've got an appeal which is coming up there, should be coming this year, but I had written to the governor about that, requesting that all the members of the current Court of Appeal should be recused from the matter. And she has accepted that recommendation. I have now obtained a letter which says that she has appointed 3 Court of Appeal judges from the UK, serving judges, who will come and hear my matter, in which I complained about the decision of the Judicial and Legal Service Commission and how they failed to discipline a judge. That is one. Secondly, they had wanted to give me a 3-hour hearing. I told them I'm not going to have a 3-hour hearing because it appears to be a token hearing. I asked for 3 days. They have given me 2 days. So we will be having that hearing about the disciplining of this judge on a date to be named. We will finish filing our documents within March. The second and final one, there is an appeal which is coming up on the 31st of August this year. This is a case in which a protection order was issued against me regarding a dispute I had.
Mm-hmm.
I have appealed the matter. The date will be 31st of August. It will be heard. I am challenging the constitutionality of the Stalking Act in the Cayman Islands because it allows apparently the court without a right to cross-examination, just purely on an affidavit, to make a decision which really amounts to effectively a sentence of the court. I just thought I should update you on those two matters. I think people should look out for them. They are likely to have a big impact on the way things are done in Cayman in the community.
Okay, and the Court of Appeal, they will be sitting here in Grand Cayman?
Yes, they will be sitting here in Grand Cayman. It will be a remote hearing. They have confirmed that it will be a remote hearing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for that. We wish you, all the best in your endeavors.
Thank you.
Okay. I think I have enough time. Sorry, we still have other callers. Yeah, I'm sorry. Let's go to our landline callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Really good. Thank you. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And there's one of the many things that we have in common is that you don't make a fuss about your birthday.
Yes.
I believe after 21, birthday shouldn't be matter to you. Birthday is a thing to celebrate when you were young and in your teens.
Mm-hmm.
But after you get 21, I don't think that you should be making a big thing about birthdays.
True.
And that's why I don't even remember birthdays. I don't remember what even age I am. Okay. First thing, I want to speak to the Premier about. We were talking about electricity and so forth. I don't understand why successive governments, successive administrations do not take the steps to try to protect the Caymanian people from these high rates of electric charges.
Mm-hmm.
Burning diesel is a dinosaur act. Many people around the world do not burn diesel anymore to produce electricity,
mm-hmm.
and especially around the Caribbean islands. The thing now is natural gas. Natural gas is a cleaner energy, and it's at least 30 to 40% cheaper than burning diesel. And you can check it out. And even if you go. When you get off your radio this today, you go and Google natural gas and the conversion from of generators who burn diesel to natural gas. It's very, very simple. It doesn't cost a lot of money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It costs very little money to do for the components to change the generators from burning diesel to natural gas.
Mm-hmm. And natural gas is plentiful too.
Exactly. I don't understand why we don't do it. The other thing, the other matter is that why are we not allowed to go off the grid? Mm-hmm. Why are we not allowed to have our own solar systems and our own and windmills if possible?
Mm-hmm.
We live in the tropics, and we should not allow these power companies to hold us hostage to their dinosaur acts, because all they're doing is making money, charging us for all of this fuel, and we're burning the fuel and stuff, and which is not necessary. They should have already changed to natural gas, changed the generating system to natural gas. That's what I wanted to ask the Premier this morning, because and another thing, I do not feel comfortable in my country where I am denied my constitutional rights to participate in democracy. Why is it that Section 119 of the Constitution is not implemented? Because it says that it enhances the democratic system. Why am I denied the right to participate in democracy. And remember that they took an oath to protect and defend the Caymanian Constitution.
Mhm.
That's what they did, and to protect the Caymanian people. And the Constitution is the highest law in Cayman. And why is it that the people cannot get them to obey the Constitution and to put in the rights to Caymanian people to participate democratically on a daily basis instead of waiting for every 4 years to vote for them.
Yep.
So those are my things today. Today, I don't feel right in this country when I'm walking up and down the country and I don't have the democratic right to participate as the Constitution offers me.
Okay, yeah. And Doc, while I have it, just to let you know, and I will be in touch with Ms. Teresa today once we get the calendar set up for next week for us to talk about Black History Month and the whole issue of Black history. So I will be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc. We're going to take a commercial break. Miss Susan, we still have callers on hold. Don't hang up those phones. Just stay on the line. We will be with you as soon as we return from this short commercial break.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Happy 50th anniversary Radio Cayman. What an enormous legacy that has been made by Radio Cayman. God bless all of the employees, past and present, that have made Radio Cayman special. So as we celebrate this 50th anniversary, as we celebrate improvements and renovations to Radio Cayman, let's be thankful for the first 50 years, and Lord willing, ingenuity willing, collaboration willing, another 50 for Radio Cayman. Happy anniversary.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're going back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. This is the landline, Miss Susan. Miss Susan, is this the landline?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, caller. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Connor. This is Kenneth Bryan. I just want to wish you a happy birthday. I think your birthday was yesterday, or am I correct?
That's correct. Yesterday.
Happy belated birthday, but also to your special sister, Miss Annis, whose birthday was on Monday.
Yep.
Who is a constituent of mine. Special happy birthday to her. But yesterday and today also marks the birthday for two members of Parliament. They one to be the Honourable Ralston Anglin's birthday was yesterday, so special birthday to him. Today is my colleague and friend Christopher Saunders' birthday today, so happy birthday to him. And my friend, and I hope one day I can call her the Honourable Donna Bush, whose birthday is today. So I just want to wish them all a happy birthday today as they enjoy what God has given them one more year, and may they be blessed with many more to come. Mr. Connor, with that being said, I was hoping that there would have been a question to the Honourable Premier about the perceived, and I would say it's real, but for now, until you have some sort of report to suggest or perceived increase in the cost of living, because it's always good to hear all the nice stuff from the Honourable Premier, but it's also to ask some of the harder questions on the realities of what are happening. I'm not suggesting that you didn't. I wish we had more time to go into those pertinent questions to him, but allowing him to speak about his agenda. but the reality of the significant cost of living that we're starting to feel, I think there needs to be some response from the government on that. Obviously, there's a list of things coming to Parliament in March, and we will respond to those, but I was a little surprised to hear that there will only be, according to what he said, 3 sittings of the House, one in June, one in March of this year, September, and then November.
I think he mentioned March and April, I believe, this morning.
Okay. Yeah, I heard 4 times, which is against what the intended plan was in the transition of Parliament to be meeting more often. One quarter of the year will be just happening, and we only have 1 sitting. I think we got to use Parliament more often. MPs are paid properly, and the opposition has no way of doing their duties if the Parliament isn't called. Regardless of whether the government has priorities in Parliament, the Parliament isn't only for the government. And the notion that they're the only ones who can call Parliament is quite archaic. Parliament is supposed to be set on those days because the standing orders allow for other members of Parliament to do business that they have to do on behalf of the people. And unfortunately, again, with only 4 mentioned appearances, that is concerning for me because it then limits the ability of the official opposition or any other independent member or backbenchers of the government to be able to submit their priorities on behalf of the people that they represent. So I'm hoping that, I'm assuming that the Honourable Premier would be listening on his way to the West Bay Sports Day, and I wish those kids best, but I think those kind of things need to be considered in respect to the sitting. We were promised that we'd have more scheduled sittings of the House, and they're still not being put forward. So I'll leave that there because I'll definitely sound like complaining, but my job is to hold their feet to the fire in respect to their commitments. I also heard him say that, the things are in the work for the staff, support staff for the Office of the Opposition, which was announced some 3 months ago, and yet there's been no bills presented for the legislative change for the support staff. They have announced the other ones. I think he's saying it's being worked on. I think he needs to make it a priority because the official opposition having the necessary support team to do their job is just as important as the support necessary for his team to do their job. So I expect that those changes will be given priority and get to the March sitting because it will then start to be perceived as it's intentionally being delayed because they don't want to be held accountable with the proper support of the proper opposition. But I'll leave that there. I wish you a very good day, and I think I'll see you eating some bara probably around 12:30. All right?
I may get there before you. There may not be any left by the time you get there if you come at 12:30. Okay.
I'll see you later, my brother. God bless you.
Bye. We have 5 minutes before we go to a commercial break. Let's grab another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
I thought I wasn't going to get on, but I sent you a rude voice thing there.
I saw that. But what?
Yeah.
But, if I may, just go to. There are times when people come on the show because they have an agenda. There's certain things that they want to get across. And when that occurs, it is extremely important for me to allow the platform for them to be able to do that. And with all due respect, the Premier did, even at the end, when we had went through all of the topics, asked if there were any other questions, any other things that we wanted to talk about. And I did share, when the opportunity allowed, the comments and questions coming from our listeners as well. But it wasn't intended to be a back and forth conversation. It was about him addressing the people of the Cayman Islands, telling them what is going on. Yeah,
I understand that whole thing. See, I just, the most important thing that I wanted to talk about today was just to wish you a happy belated birthday. On the air, you know what I mean? And then want to find out what your schedule is because I got a lined up of speakers today to say some use some flowery words to describe you. You know, so I wanted to find out exactly what time you come because
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there early. I'm going to be there earlier than most.
Okay, and also to touch on what Dr. McField was saying a while ago, I noticed that, like he said, we don't want to implement certain things in the Constitution, right? But whenever there's anything that the public asks for, they're quick to say that we can't do this and that because of human rights and because of the European Convention and all this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yet we don't obey our own Constitution, but yet we make reference to these other things that we can't do this and that because of the outside forces. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't understand that too good. And you know, and another thing, OC, I want the elected members that are not a part of the government to stop saying that I can't do anything about this or I cannot, my hand is tied. That normally the wording they use. I don't want to hear that, OC, because if you come on the radio and personally admit that you cannot do anything, but yet you're getting paid, that means you're actually telling me you're getting paid for doing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Don't use those words.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because that's what you're elected for, to do something. Bring some motions, call for some amendments.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Jim Borden, Haig Borden, back in the day, bring more motions and private member motions to the House than the government brought motions. You know, so you know, let's
do the best with what you have. Do the best with what you have.
Right. You don't have to be in the government because when you got elected, we didn't elect you to actually be in the government. You know, we elected you to be a MP first. That's the first thing. And you told us that if I get, or no, they don't say that no more. They say when I get elected, this is what I'm going to do. So if you're elected, then do something. You're getting paid. All right, see you soon.
Thank you very much. Yeah. I'm going to read this one before we go to a commercial break. This person has written and said, "Good morning, OC. I am listening to your show with the premier who really seems to be in a hurry." Yeah, well, first of all, I must say that it was actually scheduled from 7:30 to 8 o'clock, and it was realized that all the things that he wanted to talk about, that was impossible. So we were going to push it then to 8:30. Deputy Governor was scheduled to come on at 8:15. So all of that shifted. The Deputy Governor will reschedule. So then he was able to stay until actually 9 o'clock to be in West Bay for 9:15 at John A. Cumber, where he was expected to speak there as well. So the person says, I thought he brushed aside the question of open registry. That gives me the impression that it's a bigger story than is being admitted, particularly that the UK now has it. I think, and he did point out that, you know, he said he didn't, when I asked the question about whether what was the reaction of the Minister for the Overseas Territory, he didn't say he was pleased. He didn't say he wasn't pleased. What was also pointed out was both of them are politicians and they have constituents and other fellow cabinet ministers to be accountable to as well. I am wondering whether or not in his opening remarks when talking about the cost of living and talking about energy, when he spoke about the amount of litigation that has taken place and how we need to get past that, because at the end of the day, it is only those in his fraternity, the lawyers, who gain anything from it, and we need to, the entities in Cayman need to sit down and iron these issues out. I think if you're able to read between the lines that there's either litigation or proposed litigation where you're written to and say, we intend to I forget what the terminology that they use in the legal profession. He didn't use that terminology, but it's a letter in advance of legal action being taken. So it appears as if there is some litigation, and of course he wasn't in a position to to say exactly what it is. But I hope and I trust that your listeners were able to read between the lines. If not, please go back on YouTube and listen to it again, because there are obviously some entities out there that are thinking about their own bottom line, not necessarily what's good for the Cayman Islands, and as a result of that, are litigating against the government of the Cayman Islands as well. With that, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Radio Cayman Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
Brought to you by these kind sponsors.
The Cayman Islands Football Association, CIFA, building a better future for Cayman football.
Cayman Insurance Center.
Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Call me today, Michael Webster, at 925-5433.
UWI Open Campus, on-site, online, and on demand.
Visit open.uwi.edu. Call them today at 946-8322.
Super Jam.
Also brought to you by
Cayman Airways. Call them at 949-2311 to book your non-stop flights to Los Angeles and Panama.
And Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola.
The #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. But don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superhero shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Hey Cayman, we know you love driving, but not sitting in traffic. This Ash Wednesday, skip the bumper to bumper and take the Agriculture Show Park and Ride. Park easy, hop on, and let someone else do the driving straight to the grounds. Shuttles will run continuously from 4 locations all day. Follow Cayman Agriculture on Facebook and Instagram for all the details.
The annual Agriculture Show is hosted by the Cayman Islands Agricultural Society and the Ministry of Agriculture and is sponsored by the Department of Agriculture, Pepsi, Quality Feed, Ale Thompson's, Terra Vegetation and Maintenance, and Radio Cayman.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home
with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Phone lines are open. If time allows, I will share with you the post-meeting summary of the cabinet meeting held on Wednesday, the 28th of January. Hopefully, I will be able to share some of those decisions that made in cabinet with you. Meanwhile, we have been asked to send wedding anniversary greetings. Miss Mary Miles and Mr. Bunny Miles celebrating their 54th wedding anniversary today. Happy anniversary to them. Miss Mary Miles and Mr. Bunny Miles, 54 years of being married, sorry. So greetings are coming from children Ruth Ann, Chris, Donna, and Tiffany. Sons-in-law Greg, Julian, and Kirby. Grandchildren Aaron, Taj, Tori, Omari, Kai, and Nathan. And from other family members and friends. Again, big shout out to Miss Mary and Mr. Bunny Miles on their 54th wedding anniversary. We do have a caller. Before we go to the caller as well, I just want to be fair to everyone who's taken the time to send comments. So this writer wrote and said, "Good morning, OC. Sometimes when you read the comments on social media, it sounds like some people think we are being harsh if we want Caymanians first. So listening to the Premier say that other countries are doing the same thing for their citizens is refreshing, and I hope the relevant people are listening. There is an article in the Compass today about the changes to the UK immigration system. So why shouldn't we do the same and protect our small country and its people? I just hope that our immigration changes are as foolproof as can be to avoid legal challenges. Do what Ezard used to do as an opposition." This is in context to, I guess, another comment that was made because it came later. "Do what Ezard, who's now the Honourable Speaker of our Parliament, used to do as an opposition. Read the various bills and give suggestions and bring motions." With that, we're going to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and how are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay. I heard you had a birthday.
Yes, yesterday.
Okay, but when we're getting, as an elder, we don't say birthday anymore. Just say the elders. They're the experienced people in this island, right, okay?
We certainly are.
Because I'm past 70 now too. So, and my 54th anniversary would be in August as well. So, happy anniversary to Mary and
Bunny.
Mr. Bunny. Yes. I just want to put in a word here.
Mm-hmm.
When every politician does this, and some lives up to their promise, some don't. Now we have 4 in West Bay. I don't know how many in Georgetown, but we do have 4 in West Bay, as you would know.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody promised to have quarterly meetings, or at least bring it to the people, because not everyone is going to show up to the meetings, but not everyone has a radio either. So some people are kept in the dark, and like Mr. Graham said a while back, they're paid. It's not that they're doing this for free. They're paid. So we would like to hear from some politician what's really going on in this island. I mean, I thank Kenneth Bryan. He doesn't represent West Bay in a way he does, because they're representing the whole island, for at least talking about it on the radio. But like I said before, not every one of us have radios. I'm glad that I have two, but it would be nice to hear from themselves to a town hall meeting, and people get fed up. They say, we didn't hear from them, and we're not going to no more meetings. I know when the meeting's going to be, the year that they're going to run again. So it's discouraging to hear our own people talk like that. It's very discouraging to know that we only know half, or may not even be half, some that have radios, half of what's going on. And this thing about this one is going to be on the radio, but not taking no calls. Really? But we must listen to them, but not taking no calls. So how in the heck are they going to know how we feel? What is our opinions? Now, I'm going to end this because you might have another caller or so, but I still wish you Happy Elders Experience Day.
Thank you.
A belated one. Thank you very much for taking my call, and that's my opinion, and that is how I feel about it.
Certainly, and thank you very much. And, of course, everyone, we want to give everyone an opportunity, certainly, to express themselves and their opinions, and do it in the way that you have done it as well, which, is you have done it respectfully. We want to point out also, happy belated birthday. No, I think I have. There's something else that I had here that I need to find. Okay, here we go. Philip Andrew Chamont Jr. Celebrated his birthday yesterday also, so we want to send a happy belated birthday going out to Philip Andrew Chamonte Jr., coming from your mom, Miss Blonde Chamonte, as well. And she has also sent belated birthday greetings to me and to Honorable Ralston Anglin as well. We do have a caller on WhatsApp. Let's take the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, Mr. O'Connell.
Yes, sir. Morning. How are you?
Okay. Well, concerning the cost of living, you see, if every government continues making an excuse that they cannot do anything about it, only one thing is going to happen: a riot. And that's a promise. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, caller. Ms. Susan, we want to take that last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
My mom's a superhero. She always knows what to do when I feel icky. Yesterday, we went to West Bay Pharmacy, and they had everything she needed. Medicine, my favorite band-aids with dinosaurs, and even flavored vitamins. Mom says they keep our family healthy. I think they're magic. Don't tell anyone. I think superhero shop at West Bay Pharmacy. West Bay Pharmacy, where the superheroes shop. West Bay Pharmacy and Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner.
Hey, new drivers. Don't just drive, drive smart. Cynical and Inspire Cayman's Safe Driver program will show you how. Get real-life simulator training and classroom sessions to help you gain experience, stay alert, and avoid accidents. Learn to recognize risk, manage fatigue, and make smart choices behind the wheel. Certified participants may even pay less for Cynical motor insurance. Learn more and register at cynical.ky. Cynical, keeping Cayman covered.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands. This is Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have less than about 12 minutes to go in the show. If we don't have any callers, Miss Susan, we do have callers. Okay, because I was going to go to the post-cabinet meeting, but we can do that another time. Meanwhile, one of our listeners said, please remind Dr. McFeel we are allowed to have our own electric generators and have been able to do so for years. We just can't distribute that electricity other than through the core program, but you can make more than you need and store more than you need as well. So I want to thank that listener for sharing that information with us. Let's go to the phone lines. Where are we going first, Ms. Susan? Landline caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, sir, and thank you for the welcome. I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday, happy belated birthday, and pray that you be blessed with many more.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you. Let's grab WhatsApp caller next. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, Mama Susie.
Hey,
I'm speaking.
How are you, my friend?
Yeah, good man. Good weather, excellent weather. Wish you blessed all year long and happy belated birthday to you. Okay. Miss Susie, I agree the studio get a facelift. Botox, you look good. Good.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, good man. So I know Miss Susie, wrap up now. Differently with Trump administration, right? There's a reprobation continuity. The sanctions and embargo of the oil. He resigning leadership through pipeline. That they making. And I heard Mark Levis call in on Wednesday, right? This OC to the Cayman natives. There's a moral turpitude of moral justice toward the Caymanians. Is it the depravity do this right? It is involving an evil intent. You know this one? Like foreigners, they come here with derivatives, it's a slap in the wrist. They get the benefit of the doubt. We came on, we get right off, and make it off on us. But so say in my favor. I want you I know March the 4th, the MPs assembly gathering together back in Parliament, but I want you get the law enforcement commission, 1 or 2 barrister lawyers on your platform to arbitrate and adjust and negotiate the decriminalization the legal reform commission. You understand? Because Soci, in the reform is Soci, it's comprehensive. It's very understandable. Any reform. Okay? It's a conundrum. Mays is comprehensive in reform.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Have a good weekend, sir.
Thank you very much, Rambo. You do the same as well. So this writer says, I don't think that our caller understands how the cost of living works. They want to riot. They should do that about the overpopulation of our beautiful Cayman Islands. So we can close the phone lines off now, Miss Susan, because I want to see how much I can share with you as far as the post-meeting summary of the cabinet meeting that was held on Wednesday, the 28th of January, 2026. So cabinet approved the issuance of drafting instructions to amend the Health Practitioners Act 2021 revision. Cabinet approved, pursuant to Section 4 of the Mental Health Commission Act 2024 revision, the following appointments to the Mental Health Commission: Fiona McDougall, Chair; Klein Giddon, Jr., Deputy Chair; Dimpner Carton, Member; Carla Jackie Neal, Member; and Dr. Francisco Martinez Saborido as a member. Also approved the issuance of a coastal works permit for the construction of a cantilever dock. Of course, folks, it doesn't say where, so we have no way of knowing. My criticism, of this summary, don't know whether or not it can be improved, whether or not it breaches anything to say where it is, or maybe even for whom. Also approved the issuance of a coastal works permit for the change of decking material for 2 previously approved docks. Approved the issuance of a coastal work permit for the construction of a seawall and beach refurbishment. Doesn't say where, don't know. Approved the issuance of a coastal work permit for an existing Sargassum barrier and extension to an existing dock. Doesn't say where. Approved the issuance of drafting instructions to amend the Immigration Transition Act 2022 revision. Approved pursuant to Section 77 of the Labor Act 2021 revision, the following reappointments. So we have reappointments to the Labor Act and the Labor Appeals Tribunal. Robert Jones, Chair; Ryan Charles, Deputy Chair; Isadora Eden, Member; Dorothy Davis, Member; Betty Barrow, Member; Richard Lewis, Member; and Janet James, Member. Approve the publication of the revised acts and regulations which have been prepared by the Law Revision Committee in accordance with Section 4 of the Law Revision Act 2020 revision. Approve the return of 50% of forfeiture funds pursuant to the Mutual Legal Assistance Criminal Justice International Corporation Act revision. So this would appear as if there were funds that were seized, were forfeited, and the 50% of those forfeited funds will be returned, I guess. So Cayman will keep the other 50%. Approved pursuant to Sections 8, subsections 4E, and Section 8, subsection 6 of the Health Services Authority Act revision. The following appointments to the Board of Directors of the Health Services Authority. And you would have heard Minister Catherine Ebanks Wilkes talk about that, and as well as the press briefing that was held in that regard. So Timothy Ridley, a Director and Chair; Bat Grizel, Director; Peter Spratt, Director; and Omari Corbin, Director. Cabinet also approved, pursuant to Section 9 of the Public Authorities Act revision, the following reappointments to the National Housing Development Trust Board: Denniston Tibbetts, Deputy Chair; Dewey Kelly, Director, Dominic Williams, Director, and Kendall Connor, Director. Cabinet approved adjustments to the 2025 appropriations for the portfolio of legal affairs, which will be reported to Parliament in accordance with sections 11.5 and 11.6 of the Public Management and Finance Act, and noted the Environmental Assessment Board's final report on the East-West Arterial environmental impact assessment. So we now know that we do have the final report, the Environmental Assessment Board's final report on the East-West Arterial environmental impact assessment. So we have that. Hopefully things will move forward from there as far as the East-West Arterial is concerned. Those of you who travel to and from the East know exactly what the challenges are in relation to traffic there. Yes, we have to balance the protection of our environment with the need for people to spend more quality time at home rather than spending that time on our roads, getting to and from work, getting to and from school or elsewhere. So hopefully we will see some movement on that, because it is needed as well. Folks, I want to thank all of you who offered comments, those of you who sent belated birthday greetings to me. I was trying to keep it as secret as possible because I don't make a big fuss over my birthday, but at the same time, those of you who really took the opportunity to wish me happy birthday or belated happy birthday, I really want to show my appreciation, for that as well. One more comment that we had here. This one came in at 9:25. The problem we suffer with these issues that make us feel like dinosaurs, as the caller said. We seem to be like the lions in Daniel's den. Yeah, folks, but bear in mind, we have our challenges. Every country has its challenges, but still, at the end of the day, there's no other place that I would want to be, to reside, to live, than right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. And we can all do our part, individually and collectively, to make it a better place, to make ourselves feel, much more comfortable. And those who refuse to step in line, and those who want to create chaos, and those who refuse to abide by our rules and our regulations, then we should say goodbye to them as well. So again, folks, thank you very much for participating this morning. Have a great weekend. Don't forget to join Mr. Charles Glidden Challow at 12:15 for Talk Today, and look forward to the announcement that will be made about a discussion right here on For the Record that will take place with Dr. Steve McFeel and Ms. Teresa Pitcairn, talking about Black History Month as well. Might be uncomfortable for some of you here in the Cayman Islands, but we have to stop sweeping things under the rug. We have to stop burying our head in the sand, and we have to face these issues. We have to talk about our history, and we have to face them rather than shying away from them. Have a great day, folks, and as usual, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. Doctor's Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. Kirk Market, experience a world of choice. JN Money, from abroad to Yad. And Cineco, keeping Cayman covered.
Celebrating 50 years of broadcasting in the Cayman Islands.
50 years of music.
This is Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
50 years of life.